Okay, remember that they are changing my voice. So, there's been a lot of technological abuse recently, and I took a moment to reflect on my masterful decisions, and I'm very proud of the decisions I've made in life. So here I am in Gilroy, okay, on Monterey, and whatever street this is in downtown Gilroy by Monterey and Lewis. It was very wise, it was very brilliant of me to do what is right instead of conforming. Every day, especially when I take these trips and I go to different cities, I see people who conform. It's not wise to conform. One must do what is precisely right. So as they're rewiring people's brains with the machine, a lot of the fumes that you see these days, they weren't there before. They're damaging your brain to make it so you're more susceptible to influence and more suggestible. That's why they used to talk about America's sphere of influence. Okay, and there's more than one way in which they're seeking to exert influence over people. So as I keep making these videos, I'm reinforcing the truth and the true direction that all people are supposed to be in the divine order. I'm reinforcing the truth about that. That moral repetition is key here. It's telling my brain and it's telling God that I'm doing God's work and not conforming. And I'm accepting being persecuted for what is right instead of conforming and suffering hardship for what is wrong. And you see how as time goes by, I'm vindicated every moment of every day. Even on the trip here, I was vindicated. Through the persecution, I felt satisfied that I've been doing the right thing. They've gone to great lengths to try to confuse me. They've gone to great lengths to try to make me feel this way and that way about this situation. But I've stood firm. I stood firm for what's right. I'm standing firm for what's right. And I can rest assured every night that I'm doing what's right. While people are selling out their families, while we see romantic injustice to the extreme everywhere we look, we see the refusal of these governing class people to behave in a way that's mature and fair. We see fanatic LGBT cultures. We see fanatic white and Jewish cultures. We see fanatic token minority cultures. We see fanaticism dominating and trampling what's left of America and the world. So we look at, say, Hebrews 1, verse 13, where it says, "To which of the angels did God ever say, 'Sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet'?" We see that this also reaffirms and confirms that I'm right. I'm standing firm and I'm reaffirming my commitment to God. And I'm sitting at God's right hand, in a sense, and when my flesh dies, I'll be 100% intensely at God's right hand instead of in the flesh with the weakness of the flesh slowing me down. And notice it's a matter of time. It says, "To which of the angel did God ever say, 'Sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet'?" Until that time passes by and they're made a footstool. Until they're defeated. So the true victory rests with God. It rests with consistency with God. It rests with coming into the divine order. We see in Hebrews 2, it's about a warning to pay attention. It starts off by saying we must pay the most careful attention. So as people are kind of becoming scatterbrained, they're letting the enemies of God convince them to be unfocused, to be reckless, to be senseless, to be careless, to make foolish mistakes. While I am sitting at God's right hand with moral repetition until He finishes making my enemies, which are God's enemies, a footstool for my feet.